Indie devs have been on a roll lately, especially when it comes to cute games. And while we've been spoiled by the likes of Slime Rancher and Cult of the Lamb, we've never really been able to dip our toes into a proper cat game, which is bizarre. With Blue 12's Stray, however, all of that's about to change. So here's why you shouldn't sleep on this wonderful cat adventure. First up, the cat has taken a very long time to arrive. Now, when it comes to any AAA exclusive, it's pretty common to get an early announcement just to get the hype cycle going. For instance, God of War Ragnarok was announced way back in 2020, just as we were about to head into the PlayStation 5's launch. However, something like that's incredibly rare for an indie game, especially when it's a new IP from a small team. So, when Stray was announced during the same 2020 showcase, we didn't expect things to drift into 2022. But then again, no one was expecting the turmoil in the gaming industry either. Also, let's be honest here, this game looks absolutely stunning, and it's wild that only 10 people are making it. So, in a way, this is going to be the perfect little summer appetizer during a pretty barren July. Oh, and it's also kind of fitting for the whole theme because a cat comes to you when it wants to, not when you call it. Up next, the cyberpunk world gets a new perspective in Stray. If you're still recovering from the whiplash that Cyberpunk 2077 botched release handed out, then Stray might just be the perfect palate cleanser for you. Like, yes, we know that we've had many other games with a similar setting like The Ascent or Ruiner, but trust us, this one's different. We don't have factions fighting each other for resources and all that other political mumbo-jumbo. The story here is simple. You're a cute little cat adventuring through this massive city that's now populated by robots, and your job is to stop curiosity from killing the cat. Literally. There are dangers looming around every corner, so you've got to watch your step. At the same time though, you'll make friends along the way too, like your little drone companion B12, who's gonna let the robots know what your meows really mean. Also, even though we've seen countless cyberpunk cities now, this one just feels different aesthetically. Like, for starters, you're looking at everything from the ground level, so things are big, but at the same time, you can traverse walls, walk across narrow ropes, and just get into little cubby holes. On top of that, even things like the cat's fur have been stylized to really give that futuristic vibe. And honestly, in a year filled with third and first-person games, Stray manages to stand out, presenting itself as an atmospheric adventure above all else. Kinda like your relaxing walking Sims. Also, you're literally playing a cat. We could go on for days about how visually stunning Stray is or how relaxing its gameplay is going to be, but just the fact that you're controlling a cat in a third-person adventure game should be enough for anyone to get excited about it. Like, seriously, what a time to be alive. Plus, it's not just remodeled animal animations translated onto a cat, kind of like how Goat Simulator does it. This right here is the real deal. For instance, everything from the cat's walk to its little hops is masterfully recreated. And honestly, we wouldn't be surprised if one of the devs actually motion captured their cat for this game, because it just looks so real. On top of that, you've got your quirks too, like pushing cups off of ledges onto your enemies, or just being an absolute menace with zoomies. Oh, and did we mention that this game has some action too? Yep, you'll encounter enemies on your quest that you have to escape or fight. But again, you're a cat, so you probably have some hidden kung fu knowledge that just comes out of you during fights. You've got to wonder though, just how exactly does health and food work in this game? Like, would we have to ask the robots to shake our food bowl so it doesn't look empty to us anymore? Guess we'll just have to wait to find out. Now, Stray is all about solving puzzles in a playground. If you're rooting against this game for some reason, then you're probably evil. We mean, everyone's excited about it. With that said, our hype levels or the visuals probably aren't going to be enough to turn the video game into an actual compelling experience. For that, you need a great gameplay loop. Besides, there's only so much satisfaction that you could get out of messing with things you're not allowed near. Thankfully, Blue 12 seems to have hit the sweet spot between downtime and engaging gameplay in Stray. For instance, most of your time in this cyberpunk world would be spent talking to robots and running errands for them. They're not just random fetch quests though, as you'll have to complete puzzles to reach the objective and think out of the box. This means that you'll be pushing objects to climb onto, messing with mechanisms to make things go, and much more. And by the time you start to feel a bit fatigued, the game throws you into intense combat or escape sequences that are just enough to get the energy levels back up. Next up, you've got to see the game's achievements. Alright, we know that Stray is probably gonna be a good game, so we're already all in. However, there's a lot more depth to it than most people realize. For instance, even the game's achievements and trophies are tailor-made to fit the cat theme. Like, one of the achievements requires you to just sleep for an hour and nothing else. Or meowing 100 times will also add another trophy to your collection. Plus, since this is a cat game, you really can't escape the urge to scratch everything and nuzzle up to robots walking around. Oh, and if you do these things, then expect that achievement pop-up to appear. The point is that Stray rewards you for acting like a cat rather than just simply finishing your quest and turning it off. We mean, when you spot a dangerous hurdle in your path, wouldn't you prefer to just go back and nap for a few hours instead? Now, if you've never been around a cat, then you may not understand the thought process because, well, there isn't much thinking involved when it comes to these feline menaces. However, if you've got a cat at home, then you'll feel right at home in the world of Stray and probably breeze through everything, as again, you've really got to get into the mind of a cat to get the full experience. It gets even better though because some of the achievement names are downright hilarious. Like, apparently if you go to cat prison, the game gives you a trophy called Alcatraz. Get it? Other than that, literally every trophy has some sort of cat-related pun or clever wordplay like catastrophe, meowlody, and sneak kitty, just to name a few. However, you don't even have to buy Stray to play it. Let's face it, video games are expensive, and there are only so many games that you can buy without running out of money. Plus, we're constantly being bombarded with new releases, which means that you've got to pick and choose which game you're gonna buy and which ones you're gonna skip. So if you've been on the fence about getting Stray, or you only play AAA blockbuster games, then you are probably not going to buy it anyway. With that said, you can actually give it a go without buying it. Yep, Stray's coming straight to the new PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium subscription tiers, meaning that anyone who's subbed to those will get the game at no additional cost on launch day. And in a way, you've got no excuse for not wanting to at least try it out. Now, if you've ever experienced the Xbox side of things, then you'd probably know that Day 1 releases are one of Game Pass's biggest strengths. So it's encouraging to see Sony heading in the right direction and embracing this strategy. Besides, who knows, maybe we'll even start to see their big AAA experiences launch on their renewed services. And finally, could Stray actually be a Game of the Year contender? Obviously, Game of the Year talks are a bit premature at this point since we're still in July. However, 2022 hasn't exactly been massive in terms of big releases that we could talk about winning that coveted award in December. Like, most people would hedge their bets on either Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok to battle it out at Kaylee's show. Having said that, Stray's probably gonna accompany other great titles this year like Sifu, Cult of the Lamb, and Tunic for the Best Indie Game Award. And to be honest, even that'd be a pretty big deal for a team that's only got 10 members on it. But of course, being a cat game, Stray will still be Game of the Year in our hearts. That's a wrap for this video. How high are your hype levels for the upcoming cat adventure? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.